Without McDavid, the Sharks gave all they could against the Edmonton Oilers, and then they lost Draisaitl, but they hung on for a victory in San Jose. We'll break this one down. We'll get to where to go from here, and can anybody that can goaltend call the Barracuda? We'll talk about all that and more right now. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is April 3rd, 2025. The Sharks lose to the Edmonton Oilers 3-2, and we welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark, your live interactive Sharks post-game. We do this after every game, so if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world on the YouTube page and the app. And you can always follow us on the social. Felix did an exceptional job on the Blue Sky, Twitter, and the threads, living the highlights of the game, and you can find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you want to support the pod, you can do so. Visit Venmo, and you can hit us up at tealtownusa. Or if you're watching us live right now, you can hit us up on a super chat as we speak. If you're watching us on the replay, by all means, leave a comment down below what you thought of tonight's game. So alongside Felix, I am Eric. I'll get to why I'm at the tank right now in a little bit on tonight. But Felix, they lost. Let's be honest, it's not exactly a bad thing, but but I did like the effort that they stayed in with there. Your overall initial thoughts on this evening?
My overall initial thoughts, the Sharks held their own. I mean, and who knew that even though they now have two baby goalies up in the NHL, one of them would actually turn out fine, eh?
Yes, indeed. Let's look at some of the comments in the chat right off the bat. Michael Evans, at least Chicago got a point. Yes, we'll talk about Tankathon in just a jiffy here. Crafty Koala, game over. Nice little graphic there. Dink Rowan, another one goal game. Yeah, so many of these. It's frustrating. Chris Martin, a fun game to watch. And Burge 7F 91. How do we have another Carlson on the Sharks? Where did he come from? I nodded off times throughout the game. All right, so Lucas Carlson was originally signed by the Barracuda. He got a two-way deal, called up because, let's be honest here, the defense on both squads, whether you're the Sharks or the Barracuda, are injured. And my gosh, it's been a struggle bus.
Speaking of the blue line being injured, I have Max Miller just tweeted something out on Mukmadolin 2 minutes ago. He said, "Walked past Shakir Mukmadolin on my way to the locker room. His left arm was in a sling." So I guess that answers why or what his status is.
So we'll see how that goes. I mean, thank you, Max. Obviously, we don't know what the status is, but Max with the hint of the teal curtain, it seems like there. So some info that we didn't have right away, but so interesting to see what happens there. Hopefully we'll get an answer, not necessarily for the Sharks season, Felix, but he's one of those guys that can go back down the Barracuda for a playoff run.
Yeah, and if I'm sorry, just real quick, we were talking about Mook, right? Or are we talking about
Shakir?
Yes, okay, just making sure. But I honestly feel like he could use a little more seasoning down in the A, because like as much as he's been good offensively, I feel like he could work on his defensive awareness and decision making a little. So I think this will be a good thing for him.
Yeah, get some rest and then get back in for a playoff run. We hope. Of course, we don't know the status or the extent of the injury. Obviously, seeing in the sling, not exactly the best thing in the world, but we'll see what goes. That being said, let's get to recapping tonight's game. Sharks coming off that loss to the Ducks in the shootout. Edmonton beats Vegas without McDavid. Draisaitl coming back. He had been missing some time as well. And honestly, Oilers doing just fine. As Jake Wallman makes his return to the Shark Tank for the first, as is Ty Emberson. Let's not forget that. But Connor Brown with his ninth, about 6.5 minutes in, makes it 1-0. But the Sharks respond 2 minutes later. Jack Thompson with the nice shot that goes past Pickard to tie things up 1-1. Wenberg and Ferraro with the assist on that. Honestly, I thought this was a nice, strong period by the Sharks. It didn't have any issues of letting Edmonton dictate the gameplay.
Yeah, no, and when Edmonton has pushed or did push tonight, I think the Sharks have had responses, and sure, like as we'll talk about later on, the Oilers had some more pushes, and the Sharks had some more penalty trouble and some more miscues at their defensive blue line. But I thought this first period, they responded well.
Yeah, I thought they played well. I thought they played pretty well in their offensive zone. The Sharks, that is, that played fairly well, puck possession wise in the offensive zone. Definitely led to a lot of chances. Unfortunately, Pickard up to the task for that. It remained 1-1 after one period. Second period, you had. I'm a little iffy on that Colin Graff interference call. I thought that was a little sus. But it did lead to a Arvidsson goal to untie the score at 2-1. Draisaitl and Bouchard would get assists. I don't know. What did you think of that interference call?
I mean, as I 1 second, let me try to get the GIF up that I had earlier. If I can,
you can always find our GIFs of the recaps of the game on our Twitter threads and Blue Sky on Teal at Teal Town USA.
Yeah, it's a little iffy, but I mean, it is what it is. That's the NHL. Like if you're like, this is how I kind of see it now. Like the NHL's trying to, the NHL's trying to clamp down on everything, like trips, slashes, hooks. Even you've seen the hooks that they call these days. So I'm not super surprised.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you wanted to go both ways, but
Right.
but nonetheless, Arvidsson gets it to 13 on the season. Draisaitl, that would be his only point as he would leave the game. I mean, I don't know where in the second period he.
So I know I'm trying to remember if I heard this on a broadcast or if I saw this somewhere, but I guess he stepped on the puck and might have tweaked something. I think that's what Cassie Campbell said, but I'm sure.
So all I'm going to say is, as a guy who stepped on a puck January, playing some hockey in Walnut Creek, and it hurt. Not exactly fun. Draisaitl twisted ankle.
Oh, twisted his ankle. Got it.
I mean, lower body injury. Lower body injury. That was tough. However, the Sharks would make an interesting comeback. Toffoli with a nice finish on a rush with Ferraro and Celebrini.
That was a hell of a rush. That was a hell of a passing play. Like, I'm like, holy.
I was making my way around the arena and as the goal went, and actually high five Jonathan Becker, Sharks team president. Nice. So as it was happening. So Jonathan, appreciate you saying hi as we were talking there. Bully and McGuire, they are cooked. Sharks are Edmonton. Yeah. We'll see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're cooked, but to not have Draisaitl and McDavid for this last bit of a push.
I mean, what else is this? Not having your two biggest superstars in the lineup is not ideal. I don't care if depth is what gets you deep in the playoffs. You kind of need scoring too, and
right.
Yeah.
Right. But Toffoli would make it 2-2 later in the period. Jeff Skinner, who's been, probably one of the guys of criticism in Edmonton this year, he got his 15th to essentially get the game-winning goal from Bouchard. Bouchard with a pair of assists on the night here. Wallman, welcome back to San Jose. All the best to you. But he took an interference penalty. Sharks unable to capitalize on the power play. This is unfortunately becoming a trend, Felix, that they just can't get over the hump on the man advantage.
And I think the broadcast was mentioning like celebrating, like took that shot and that went wide. I'm wondering, like, obviously we've said it time and time again, he's 18, he's still trying to get used to the league and everything and read the defensive tendencies and whatnot. But I wonder if he's sort of on and off on gripping his stick a bit too tight at this time of year.
And it was just, I think he got off a 3-game schneid without a point.
Right.
So
did he have an assist tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see.
For sure.
Unfortunately, Lane Hudson has just been killing it lately for Montreal, keeping them in the playoff chase. I think he's starting to run away with it.
Here's the positive that I can think of for what Mac's going through right now. At the very least, he has all off season to work on his shot, his strength, and he's only going to grow. And who knows, like all the shots that he's missed this season, those are going top corner.
Yeah. Just misses it. Third period really didn't have a whole lot going on with it. Edmonton shut down everything. Sharks did have plenty of chances, but just couldn't find the back of the net. So that's a 3-2 final for the Edmonton Oilers. They pick up 2 points to keep within the division race of the Pacific. Edmonton at third with 93 points. LA is at 95, Vegas at 98. For the Sharks, on the other hand, they remain in 32nd with 50 points on the campaign. 7 games to go. Chicago has 2-point lead on the Sharks at 52. They are now even in games at 75 with 7 left to go for each team. So right now, 7 times 2 would be 14. 64 points is the max. So if Nashville can eke out a win coming up soon, the Sharks will assure themselves of at least the second best odds of the lottery, picking no worse than 4th in the first round of the NHL draft.
We're relying on Nashville, a team that has not done very well this season. I'm just saying.
I know. I mean, Nashville is ranked 30th in the league, and they're going to be 30th in the league, considering how I think everybody thought it was going to be a front runner with all.
I'm super curious to know what Trotz's leash is as GM right now, because so far, obviously we thought those signings were going to be home runs for Nashville, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on in Nashville in the offseason. Same with the Sharks. But I mean, yikes, that was the thing. AJ, I was told there'd be no math. Oh, yes. Aaron Jack saying maybe 2 years they could be better. I mean, yes, that's true.
The hope, right? That's the hope, and that's why we've been saying, y'all have been saying, there needs to be improvement next season. I think even Landy was echoing on one of the previous podcasts, this should be a bubble team, and I agree. There's just too much potential for there not to be steps forward.
Right. I'm seeing the comments in there for we could see Musty soon, and that's because Sudbury was swept in the first round by the Kingston Frontenacs 4-0. They lost to Kingston 3-2 the final there. So their season is done. So now we wait and see. Do they bring up Musty for the Barracuda? Be curious to see if that's the case. I would have to think. I'm not sure if he could be eligible for playoffs, but it would be nice to see musty down the road. I mean, I'm certain that's definitely going to be something that's going to change in your future. Whether it's he goes back to the OHL, I can't see him staying in Sudbury.
Right. I mean, the
uh,
way I've heard he's been playing there. I mean, like, I don't
Right.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah. On the flip side, the London Knights clinched their ticket to the round 2. So Dickinson and Haltonen are going to move on. Both guys got goals tonight on the elimination from Owen Sound. So we'll be looking out for that. I believe Calgary with Carson Wentz in the Western Hockey League is moving onward. Obviously, 3 guys in the Frozen Four to play or that have Sharks prospect ties are going to be going forward in the Frozen Four. That's in St. Louis. So we have to look out for that. Should be a fun one indeed. So honestly, I mean, not a whole lot else to talk about realistically from this game. I thought Georgi Romanov played fantastic. 35 saves, just come up short on the loss.
Yeah, no, like he's held his own. Like I mean, and we were all at like I know again, like Georgiev went down, and I know Sharks called up what's his name Carrier or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
Gabriel Carrier was in the. He was the backup tonight to Romanov.
Right. Yeah,
Oh.
and I know like most of us are thinking, well, great, that's chalk up a 10-0 loss to the Edmonton Oilers, and while it was a loss, it was far closer than I expected. I will say so.
Yes.
Kudos to him on that.
Oh yeah, no, indeed. Looking at some of the comments here, TLBT. When does the Jumbo Marner recruitment start? I think it started when we had that picture that Patty posted on Instagram. I'm just saying. I know Steve and Adam and Jesse were kind of saying that the crowd was cheering for tampering. So we're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. So
right.
Dan Moore, Saginaw could be done for the year as early as Saturday as well. Yes, they're down 2-1 in their series. Curious to see about that. I would think more than anything, Chernyshov. I mean, I don't think he has a whole lot of. I don't think he has a whole lot left to prove in the OHL, and he went off on it, and I'm curious to see what his where he'll go next season, where it's Cuda or the Sharks.
Right. I mean, at this point for me, I'm just like, as long as like obviously insulate the Lions, but like I'm really excited and curious to see like what this team's gonna look like probably like next season. Like I mean, because there's gonna be a lot of roster spots to fill and to compete over.
Yeah. Definitely going to be some changes made. Definitely the Sharks need to spend money too.
Right, and not to mention, let's sort of briefly touch on the elephant in the room. But Logan Couture, like, could he call it after this season? Would he be, at this point, what would think he'd be forced to call it, because he hasn't skated in God knows how long. So
yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. Yes. Last Cali Fin game of the season. Put those black jerseys away. That's. Yeah, that's nice. Chris Knobloch on Leon Draisaitl, who left the game in the second period. No update, but I'll know more tomorrow. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Chernyshov from net front presence. Chernyshov looked well on what seemed like a struggling Saginaw team. Yeah. I mean, it's tough to say because it's like I think obviously Schaefer would probably be the best bet since this team needs some more defense. But at the same time, Michael Misa looks pretty awesome. You already have some built-in chemistry with Chernyshov. Just saying. Let's see what else we got in the chat. From Connor Brown, you have to find your game this time of the year. and make sure it's sharp. Yep. And with the Oilers headed to the playoffs and seemingly headed to another first round matchup against LA.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm actually really curious. Sorry, go ahead. Address that.
Connor Brown saying wasn't our best game, but we found a way to get a win. I wouldn't say it was their best game. I mean, obviously they didn't like dominate, which I thought it might have been like a 10-2 final of the race. You know,
Yeah.
Thankfully, we haven't had any of those this season. I'm knocking on wood.
Like, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so like with the whole like Draisaitl and McDavid being out, like because we're assuming like this is gonna be the case in going into the playoffs. I'm super curious to see because like we know that the Oilers have had the Kings number in recent years, so I'm really curious to see if the tides turn just a skosh or if the Oilers can hold their own.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the playoffs are just a couple of weeks away. I mean, as much as sad as I'll be when the season is over, excited to see the race for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's going to be a fun one, and I think it's really wide open this year. Although,
yeah,
what's that?
I was saying I agree. Like I mean, we've said this like a lot in recent years that it's super wide open, and this year is no exception. I feel like these past few years have been super interesting. Like obviously,
yeah.
You had Vegas, and then of course you have the Florida Panthers now, and it's just like they're gonna be defending their championship, and who knows if that happens. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how this shakes out.
Right. It'll be interesting to see. Buddy Bandit, where's that shinny jersey, Eric? Yes. All right. So as to the reason why I'm here, obviously, the availability for someone hosting tonight was very limited, unfortunately. But I did participate in a celebrity shinning game at Texie Arena today. I think they also had another one here at the Shark Tank, which was a little bit more expensive. So, but nonetheless, yours truly can fully admit he is completely out of shape. That being said, I want to thank Scott Hannon for assisting on 2 of my 3 goals, including the last goal of the game.
Nice.
That ended up being a hat trick. As I went 7-hole on the goaltender. So that was a blast.
You might be out of shape, but at least you can elevate the puck.
Yeah. It wasn't easy, I'll tell you. But I will say I was I should have had these on the thing, but just to see how excited I was, yeah, that's 20 minutes later, I was more like for audio people, I'm so sorry you had to hear that. But nonetheless,
yeah,
great time with Scott Hannon.
Amazing.
And my mom's favorite player that's not named Jeff Odgers, Owen Nolan. Wait, there we go. There we go. And just great high quality production value here, but but it was a great time. We all sat together in the seats. But go ahead.
No, I was saying I bet that was an amazing time.
Oh yes, can't wait to do it again next year. So Mom, Amanda, if you're watching, there's a Christmas gift idea. Murray Sheehan, Ryan, and Bob, thank you very much for setting everything up. Looking forward to doing this again next season. They do it all over the place. In fact, I think they helped Dangle with that Eric Lindros Easter
cool.
Seals Classic. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we talk a little bit of Ovi?
About what?
Ovi,
yes. So didn't play tonight. 3 goals away. Chicago versus Washington at home, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And I believe it's going to be carried nationally on the NHL network, which means
nobody
nobody will see it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the rest of the Caps games, whatever is remaining, will be nationally televised. So.
It's going to be very, very interesting, and I hope that ESPN or TNT kind of break into coverage when they can. When he gets close to it, be nice, especially like on power plays and such.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Dude, I still cannot believe he is only 3 goals away. Like, what the actual fuck?
yeah. All on the Cavs puck. Oh, Jesus. Stop it. Just kind of going through some of the more chats before we get out of here. From future considerations, very few teams come out of a rebuild in 3 years. Mainly a Sharks rebuild timeline usually takes 3+ years to make it NHL after draft. I see improvement, but not much without major ads.
Yeah. I mean, like, look at the Edmonton Oilers. Like, I mean, the first few years of McDavid donning on the Oilers jersey was probably just as frustrating. And look at that back end, and it's like, how the hell are they anywhere close to contending again? And then of course the Oilers a couple years later do make it to the Cup finals. So hey, I mean. No, like I think the Sharks need to again insulate their youth, but also like they need to start like Greer needs to have a mindset of like, okay, we need to support obviously Macklin celebrating. We need to find a way to get him, a good puck mover, and some more support and guys who can actually read off him well and all those kinds of things. Just they always say like the little details are what make successful hockey games, and I agree. Like we know the kind of game that Matt can play, and we just need, I think,
build around him.
Exactly, more players who can sync up with him.
Yep. Celebrini recorded his 33rd assist of the campaign on Toffoli's tying strike in the second period. He's now 1 assist shy from tying Pat Falloon for most assists by a rookie in Sharks history. That'd be nice for him to get there and to get to 25 goals, which I know Patty had his first season, the Sharks' first season, so we'll see. Brisbee Life, just get out of bottom 5 next year, maybe. Yeah. Oh, seriously.
Yeah. No, again, like they're again, like this Sharks team needs to make some pretty noticeable improvements next season, or something's gonna be amiss. I think again starts from the back end. We've said that so many times, and like I mean, just you want to see this team keep trending in the right direction, and obviously while Mac isn't going anywhere, you don't want to ruin his development at all.
And last one before we get out of here, because I do need to get out of here for this. Hank Vesuvius, any chance Martone goes before Misa? Yes. I mean, I think there's a mix of a mumbo jumbo around. I think you could have Martone, you could have Misa. James Hagens is still around too. I think those you mix that in with Schaefer. I think there's a mixture of whatever the team that's in that slot needs.
Yeah, the sense I get is from briefly reading some of the draft rankings from Scott Wheeler from the Athletic is unlike last draft, obviously, the number 1 overall pick is not set. Like there's no undisputed, Schaefer is gonna go first, or Misa's gonna go first, or whatever. It's very much up in the air.
Yeah. And like you said, it depends on what team is where in the draft, and we won't find that out. I think Cinco de Mayo or May 6th when the draft lottery is.
Right.
So on that note, we got to get out of here before I get tackled by blue vests. In case you missed anything or don't watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com. You can find us on the audio side wherever you get your podcasts. The audio version will be up in a little bit. I do need to commute back home. Always hit that like button for the video. Hit that subscribe button. Tell all your friends, because trust me, we would love to continue to build this on here. Felix, your final thoughts before we get out of here.
Same as from last game. Just have fun. Like, I mean, this is still a young team. They're still trying to find their strides, especially playing with Max. So just honestly have fun with what we have right now. And I think the future is very promising, but Greer needs to start helping this roster build in the right direction. And so the rest will hopefully take care of itself.
Curtis Michelka tweeting, I believe the plan is to bring Quentin Musty to San Jose, get some time with the Barracuda. We shall see. Emphasizing that the Sudbury Wolves are now finished for the year. We'll be back with you on Saturday following Sharks and Kraken. It is Fan Appreciation Night. Sharks, thank you for sending me my Sharky stand early. I appreciate that. I would have presented it here, so it would have been like right here if I did, but I was already on the road when it arrived at my house. So with that, a final thing before we go, happy birthday, Brody Brazil. Hope you had a great day. He's turned 30 again. So we love you, Brody. You're one of the OG guests on this podcast, and we appreciate you always. So we'll be back with you on Saturday following Sharks and Kraken. That is a home game for Fan Appreciation Night. Until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real, teal. Have a good night, everyone.
Night.